Hopefully you see that. Okay, everyone. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. I am a big fan of starting on time since I know you all have places to be and we have a pretty packed agenda today. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ellie Perry. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the Office of Sustainability. And thank you for joining for our virtual town hall / virtual tree planting party / celebration of all things sustainability on our campus. So it's a lot of information to cover in just the half hour or so we have planned before we jump into kind of the larger scale issues that we'll be facilitating in terms of covering the IPCC report, as you hopefully have been promised. So we'll go ahead and get started. So in terms of where we are today, you are now entering our CSUDH virtual sustainability town hall. So with that, in case you're not that familiar with what sustainability is, despite the fact that we're obviously celebrating it today, the general idea is that sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, if you're familiar with kind of the way the world operates today, the way that we develop, the way that we utilize resources is not sustainable. If you actually looked at the way that we consume resources and everything else, you can enter your impacts and, people say it would take 4 or 5 planets to sustain everyone the way that we live here in the US. So obviously the way that we're living now is not sustainable. And that's what sustainability is about to help change that. And in order to really focus on sustainability, when you make decisions, you need to incorporate more than just, is this the cheapest option or is this the best for me? It's really the idea of using the triple bottom line, which focuses on sustainability as incorporating the needs of the people, planet, and profits together when making a sustainable decision. So that means that when we're trying to make decisions about how we operate or how we develop, we're considering those 3 elements when we're making those decisions. Now, what that looks like for our campus is interesting because sustainability isn't a one topic idea, right? You don't have to necessarily say, oh, sustainability is just this, and you only have to care about sustainability because it's really a catalyst or enhancer for everything we do. When you apply that lens to our campus operations, there's a lot of great outcomes when you look at things through a sustainability lens. And just here with our office, we've been able to support the basic needs of our students and increase their student success. It really helps to add interdisciplinary richness to our academics and the things that you're learning in your courses. Obviously, there's a great angle. Office of Sustainability is part of facility services because it actually improves the efficiency of our operations, not to mention usually saves us tons of money on our utility costs. So it's kind of a win-win when we apply sustainability to the higher ed space. And another thing about Dominguez Hills specifically, we are as a university actually very, very good at sustainability. A lot of people don't realize this, which is why, at this presentation, we'll be covering those highlights, but we're really uniquely positioned to be a sustainability leader in higher education. And the reason for that is that sustainability is traditionally considered when you think of sustainability leaders for colleges, right, you think of really rural colleges or predominantly white or very prestigious or, well off. But really, sustainability is important for us because our populations and communities are going to be the most affected by climate change and environmental justice issues. So we have a vested interest in making sure we pursue sustainable development and that we're leaders in sustainability. And also we as an urban and minority serving institution, that space has been overlooked as a source for sustainability leadership. And we have the opportunity to change that conversation and change what sustainability looks like in higher ed. So it is very promising to see how far we've come as a university campus in terms of promoting sustainability and becoming leaders in this. And not to mention, as a university, it's kind of our obligation to raise the next generation of student leaders, as well as become a resource hub for our larger regional community. So it's very important to make sure that we factor that in terms of our I guess, mission to the campus and making sure that sustainability is a core part of our operations. So to that end, there are so many projects that our office works on. So, I really wanted to kind of dive down into the highlights for just this year. In terms of where we are, one of the big projects that we pursued this last year during COVID and quarantine in this virtual environment is collaborating very heavily with our basic needs office. As one of the recipients of the President's Challenge Grant, along with Jenny Hall, our faculty member, we were actually able to successfully receive grant funding to start up this pop-up thrift initiative. And what that looked like essentially was that we solicited the campus in terms of collecting items that our in-need students needed. So for example, in fall 2020, we did a coat drive to make sure that any student who wanted it could get a warm coat for the winter, and the campus surprised us with 100+ coats that they donated. Similarly, in housing, when we had all these students moving out, as opposed to dumping everything in the landfill, we actually set up this nice pod, which you can see on the corner there, where people could just drop off lightly used or brand new items and say, hey, we're going to save this for the residents and in-need students coming in the fall, drop it off here as opposed to dumping it. And we were able to salvage 1,300 pounds of items that were actually almost all new in box or really good condition, that we are now able to redistribute out. We're now on the part of actually redistributing all the awesome items that we got now that people are coming back. So we did a small redistribution during housing for the few residents that were moving in. We're actually doing a really big event on Tuesday, November 16th in the afternoon. So if you are going to be on campus, visit the South Walkway. We have tons of free items to give away. So help yourselves, no cost. We're trying to go zero waste. So obviously helping out our students, but also if you want to take some free stuff and go have an easy way to go zero waste, that would be awesome. We'll also be featuring handcrafted farm soaps and eco-friendly toiletries to make sure any in-need students have basic toiletries, so it should be a fun event. So I highly encourage you to save the date for that. And in general, we have a lot of resources as an Office of Sustainability because of our mission that ties in really well with our basic needs office and the needs of our in-need students. So for example, we have our own campus urban farm. We are co-supporters of the farmers market when they're on campus, encouraging, the eating of fresh and local produce. We sponsor zero waste and thrifting items. Again, those eco-friendly toiletries. Education-wise, lots of synergies with, cooking healthy, cooking with local produce, being eco-friendly about your food choices, budgeting and healthy living. So that's been a really successful partnership because sustainability, again, has the ability to be a catalyst for a lot of the things that we're already good at, including caring for our students. So with that, we actually have another example of a really awesome collaboration with Basic Needs and CalFresh on our campus. Because a lot of you may not know, but we actually had an existing walking trail on our campus that's been operational forever. However, people didn't really know it existed because there was no signage, right? So unless you told somebody, yeah, there's a walking trail here, they would have no idea that it's actually a true walking trail that's about a mile long. So thanks to CalFresh, they were able to provide grant funding to encourage healthy living and actually add directional signage, a central map, and basically make sure that this trail is actually visible to the campus community. And I know Basic Needs is going to be doing a lot more outreach around this new feature of the campus or revamped feature of the campus. So highly encourage you to go out there and visit. And we'll also be jumping over there in just a second too. Additionally, AEG, which is the operator for Dignity Sports Health Park next door, they're super on board with this project too. So they're adding their own directional signage to help enhance this trail even further. And we're even talking about upgrading the activity equipment along the trail that you see out there, if they can get some grant funds for it. And in general, just a really good feature for the campus and also a great way to encourage carbon-free travel. So no carbon emissions when you walk, right? So all good things when it comes to that partnership. And speaking of which, we want to make sure we make sure that we can give you a look. So at this point, I'm going to ask Skip, who's currently out on our walking trail, to unmute himself and also turn on video so we can take a look at what's going on. So Skip, are you, there you go, I can see you. So if you want to, yep. So if you want to switch to speaker view, pin David Saldana's video. You can also adjust the view proportion between your shared screen and the speaker as well. All right, Skip, take it away. Show us what you're looking at.
Hello. So I'm here on the walking trail. We are at an intersection where LaCourte Hall is. That's right there. the new library building, that's right there, and the field house, that's right there. Closest parking lot would be lot 6, and that's that one over there next to the StubHub. Oh, I'm sorry, Dignity Health Sports Arena. So as I'm walking right over here, we're gonna come up on the start of the walking path. And as Ellie Perry said, you can pin me on your screen so you can see me walking on this 1 mile long walking trail. And here it is right here, the start of the walking path. All right, and this is the map. All right, recommendations: always remember to stay hydrated, wear comfortable shoes, partner up and invite a friend, and be aware of car traffic. And there's the map right there. And I will embark on this journey. Please follow me, and I will now mute myself. Take it away, boss.
All right, thanks so much, Skip. And if it's too boring to look at my face as we're doing this presentation, highly encourage you to jump over to Skip's video, check it out, get a little bit of the outdoors while you're enjoying the rest of this presentation. So we'll let Skip continue his journey throughout the campus. And as promised, we actually have our first of 2 opportunity drawings for today. So hopefully you were paying attention, but essentially get your keyboards ready, because the way we're going to administer this prize, which by the way is a reusable / zero waste utensil kit, first correct answer in the chat box will win. So I have Jessica, our Sustainability Club president, in the wings, ready to call the winner. So if you have all your typing fingers ready, when I click the question, be the first to type the correct answer in, and I'll have Jessica mute herself and announce the winner from there. Okay, ready? 1, 2. How long is the CSUDH walking trail? Enter those answers in the chat box. And Jessica, feel free to unmute yourself and let us know who the winner is once you see it.
So right away we got Case, and the correct answer was 1 mile.
There we go. All right. Congratulations, Case. And I believe Jessica will be messaging you with instructions for redeeming your prize and making sure you receive that from us. All right. Thank you, Jessica. We have a second prize, so Jessica will be back very shortly. So thanks all. But yeah, that is the CSUDH walking trail. Again, an example of awesome improvements and collaborations on the CSUDH campus. So the second awesome feature that we have for you is that many of you may not know that we are actually a Tree Campus USA receiver for the past 3 years running. So in 2018, 2019, and 2020, the Arbor Day Foundation has recognized us as a higher education institution that has great tree management practices. So in 2020 alone, we planted 36 new trees in the on campus. We also have some interesting programs, including a tree donation fund that we provide all year round. So basically through our online giving page administered through the campus, we give people the option to donate to us, of course, but I'll actually donate specifically towards seeing trees on campus. So in terms of that, basically even yourself, if you want to chip in, 10, 20 bucks, you can actually donate online and make sure that goes to planting new trees on campus, which are a great source of shade cover. It helps reduce temperatures, when it comes to urban heat island effect, great habitat for wildlife, all those good things. So definitely we love our trees and want to celebrate that. And every year, actually, so if in May you are graduating or know someone who's graduating in the classes of 2020 through 2025, we actually, no cost to you, allow people to make their green graduation pledge to basically say, hey, regardless of what field I'm going into, I pledge to consider the environment or sustainability when making my green career choices. So anyone who signs that pledge online basically will chip in $1 towards additional trees. So thanks to earlier this year's pledge, we were actually able to contribute 2 new fruit trees, which are actually mandarin oranges, and plant them this morning, or I didn't plant them, but Jenny Hall's class planted them this morning, at 10 a.m. In the newly established Earth Day Grove over in Housing. And we also have alumni donations that contributed to that as well. So I know that we had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I wanted to see if Chloe is on the line. If not, I have another video available for you. Chloe, are you there?
Hello, hi Ellie.
Hi, Chloe. Were you able to find the new site?
Yes, I'm actually helping out Dr. Hall and Eric.
Oh, there we go.
Hello. Yes,
All
they're
right.
digging
So
up
just
some.
like last
So
time,
right now,
if you pin Chloe's video, you can check out all the action here. So definitely pin her video, adjust the speaker view, all that good stuff. So yeah, so Chloe, tell us what you're seeing.
so right now, me, Dr. Hall, and Ernie are helping dig up some more soil into our new trees that we have here in our little Earth Day Grove. Right here, we have an avocado tree. And right here, I believe, is a citrus tree. And then I think this might be a citrus tree as well, but I know it's going to be avocados, citrus, and figs.
Ooh, very nice. Sounds delicious. You can say hi to our thank you volunteers. I don't know if they can hear us.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Chloe. So just wanted to give you a little taste of what's going on in the field, but again, a nice, awesome Earth Day Grove being planted over at student housing to provide fresh fruit for our students that we will be harvesting as part of our basic needs drop-offs, as well as available to residents if they get hungry. So, so again, big collaboration between us and basic needs in terms of promoting food security, local produce, and all those good things when it comes to sustainability. All right, so with that, we also have our second opportunity drawing of second and final opportunity drawing of the day. So this is to help celebrate our trees. Again, same prize, reusable utensil kit. So again, get your keyboards ready. And this actually wasn't covered, so this is going to have to be your best guess. Again, first correct answer in chat docs wins, and this is actually multiple choice. So Jessica, I will leave you to get ready and call the answer as soon as I trigger the next question in 3, 2, 1. How many pounds of CO2 does a mature tree absorb per year? Multiple choice. There you go. You got your 3 choices, A, B, and C. A is 14 pounds, B is 48 pounds, C is 125 pounds. So what do those amazing trees do? So Jessica, if you want to monitor the chat for the correct answer and let us know when you have identified a winner.
Okay, so I do see a winner. Actually, in first was Chase again. So I'm going to go down to the second person, which is Ashley Gutierrez.
There you go. Sorry, Chase, in case it's the same prize. So I don't think you want 2 of the same. So, so yeah, so congratulations, Ashley. And that was our second opportunity drawing. So again, let's celebrate those trees. So in terms of our other areas of achievement, so again, that correct answer was B, 48 pounds. So again, trees are amazing. We're huge promoters here on this campus. But overall, in terms of our sustainability accomplishments, we are nationally recognized for our sustainability efforts, which a lot of people don't realize. But basically, for most higher education institutions that care about sustainability, we all are members of the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, abbreviated as ASHE, as you see there. And essentially, they have a recognition program called STARS, which basically you submit your best practices and they can tell you, hey, you're, great try, but you don't really qualify for national recognition. And then it goes up to bronze, it goes up to silver, then gold, then platinum. So when we first started the Office of Sustainability about 4 years ago, we were completely unrated. We had nothing reported yet. And then in our first year, we were able to earn ASHE bronze level for the campus. And less than 2 years later, actually jump us up to ASHE silver. And we're now well positioned to hit ASHE Gold as well. And because of the rapid rise of this achievement, we actually earned a statewide award for most improved ASHE score in the entire CSU system of all 23 campuses. So we actually earned that award in October 2020 at the CSU Facilities Management Conference. So we're definitely an up-and-comer when it comes to sustainability within the CSU system, and that is something we should be very proud of. And in terms of what that recognizes, a big part of the available points that you can get are actually through academics, which I'll be jumping to in a second, but also covers things like our engagement around sustainability, our operations, the way that we plan and administer the campus when it comes to sustainability, as well as our innovation and leadership efforts when it comes to sustainability. So as an example of what academics get awarded for in terms of a campus that really focuses on integrating sustainability into multiple disciplines, not just, hey, this is a sustainability class, but hey, here's another discipline where we've integrated sustainability and made that a core part of our operations. I'm actually going to jump over to Lisa McCullough from the philosophy department, who has a really cool story about how they integrated learning outcomes. So Lisa, did you want me to stop sharing, or did you want to just jump in? Oh, hopefully you're there.
I'll just jump in. Hold on 1 second while I make a few adjustments. Can you see me now?
I actually lost my video feed, but I don't know. You good? Jessica's giving me a thumbs up. I have terrible views on speaker view. So
yes, and I need to unpin David's walk or I'll get dizzy. Well,
yeah, there you go.
I just need to figure out, okay, remove pin. There we go. Okay. And now I need to get my slide back, my text back. Okay, here we go. Yes, I wanted to report a bit on what our department has been doing in terms of connecting with the sustainability programs that we feel very proud to be see happening on our campus. And I wanted to report about environmental philosophy, which is a relatively new subfield in the academic discipline of philosophy, with a dedicated array of book publications, book series, journals, conferences, and forms of public engagement. So it's a thing, and it has been for several decades in philosophy. Its claim is that philosophy has a vital role to play in critical questioning of traditional assumptions and habits, as well as ethical responses when it comes to the environment and sustainability. The thinking is that there's that a new fundamental thinking of our relations within the natural order is needed. In other words, a new philosophy, critiquing an unsustainable, unjust worldview in the wake of colonialism and the Industrial Revolution, formulating a sustainable outlook for a finite planet, aware of the vulnerability of the web of life in facing rising human population and technological interventions, the sixth extinction that is currently underway, which is anthropogenic, which means it's caused by humans, calling forth ethical responsibility, environmental justice for human and non-human beings, and also for ecosystems, which are resilient to a point, but beyond that point can be destroyed with no possibility of being restored. Teaching issues of environmental racism and speciesism, learning about diverse indigenous philosophies and populations around the world today that are actively defending land, water, air, and the interdependence of life. So in the past year, the department has become more informed about sustainability efforts and programs on campus. I participated in a faculty learning community on sustainability in spring 2020 with Roya Assisi, who will be speaking in a little while. I invited Ellie Perry to present to our whole department last fall, a year ago. And we will keep this awareness up to date by making it a frequent agenda item at departmental meetings. Philosophy already has several courses that address environmentalism and sustainability. Philosophy 340, Environmental Ethics, which is a dedicated course to the topic. Philosophy 379, Contemporary Moral Issues, includes it. Philosophy 101 and 102, Intro to Philosophy, depending on the instructor, includes it. And then 2 courses have been offered by a new tenure track faculty member in the department, Dr. Robert Jones. And we are looking to make them a permanent part of the philosophy curriculum, Philosophy of Race and Racism, which addresses environmental racism, and Animal Rights, which addresses the impact of animal agriculture in terms of environmental degradation and climate change. Moving forward, our plans are to continue taking stock of existing courses and seeking to project this theme more explicitly for our department. We have plans to make sustainability an explicit theme, increase active engagement between philosophy course content and campus sustainability programs and resources, exactly like the ones Ellie is describing. And we can do things like giving credit or extra credit for participation in those programs, attending events, building student awareness just by announcements and so on, encouraging students to get involved. Encouragement's always a good idea. building student awareness, making environmental sustainability an explicit theme in our departmental materials, showing that we teach these topics, making it a theme in the philosophy club, and actively looking for more ways to engage and invite ideas and suggestions from students and faculty members. Several faculty members are actively thinking about philosophy's role in building sustainability as a driver for rethinking fundamental assumptions, recognizing ethical responsibility for our impact within the biosphere, and promoting environmental awareness and stewardship. So last thoughts in closing. I think I share with most of my colleagues the sense that everyone has an implicit philosophy of life. Academic philosophy is committed to examining these implicit philosophies, understanding them as value systems, considering their merits and demerits, and perceiving how they function in the world. And we believe that sustainability is a key element in what constitutes a good life, a just life, and a life attuned to the realities of living communally on a finite, biologically diverse, precious and unique planet that is Earth, with no planet B. So that's my thought. Thank you, Ellie.
Well said. Thank you, Lisa. And the things that the philosophy department are things that we hope other academic disciplines will continue to do. So we really applaud this as a great example and hope to see similar work across the university, regardless of what the academic discipline is. So thank you so much, Lisa. I know you have a department meeting to get to, so really appreciate your presentation today, letting us know all those great updates. Awesome. So I guess with that, I will go ahead with and wrap up my portion of the presentation, which is focused on the operations. So as a member of facility services, that's kind of where we live and a lot of what we do. Hopefully you've heard that the campus is now pretty much zero waste. So in terms of infrastructure, everywhere you go now, you will actually have an option for trash, recycling, and composting when it comes to throwing things away on campus. So super proud of that. Hopefully you tuned in onto our workshop earlier this month on that particular project. When it comes to air and climate, which is actually a good transition to our next topic, we were actually a top performing member of a greenhouse gas reduction program called CEOP through Southern California Edison that actually brought in $3 million to the campus last year to help fund additional energy efficiency and greenhouse gas reduction projects. And we were the top performer out of the 5 UC and CSU campuses participating. We're also continuing state-of-the-art award-winning energy efficiency projects and campus-wide upgrades, including to our lighting and HVAC. And we're actually adding almost a megawatt of rooftop solar to our campus buildings as we speak, and actually has a slated completion date of the end of this calendar year with operation in 2022. So awesome things happening to the campus. If you want to hear more about our energy projects in that particular area, again, we will be back here next Wednesday at noon for our virtual event. So you can take a virtual tour of our tunnels with our energy manager, as well as get a more in-depth look at the cool energy projects we have on our campus. And also, if you happen to be on campus, we will actually be offering in-person tours, limited size at 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. That day with 15 max people capacity. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to scan the QR code now. I'll also make an effort to copy paste that into the chat once I drop off the quote unquote stage here. So hope to see you there either virtually or in person, but good times for everyone as we close out October Sustainability Month. And finally, before I pass it off, let's talk about carbon, right? So when it comes to greenhouse gases and fighting climate change, President Parham actually signed the President's Climate Leadership Commitment in March of this year, committing the campus to carbon neutrality. So that means that we've taken a stand against climate change, that we as a campus are committed to fighting climate change. And the IPCC report, which Dr. Azizi will be covering next, actually emphasizes the importance of climate action. So this is a good tie-in to the direction that we're going. And final slide, I promise. If you are a student, this year we are actually resurrecting the Toro Green Initiative Fund, which offers basically a grant fund for any sustainability project that you want to see on campus. So if you think you have a great idea for helping the campus go green, simple application, less than super short Google form that you can just turn in saying, hey, I think this is a great idea. And basically we'll vote on it Tuesday, February 1st, and you could get funded. So highly encourage you to think, if you have an idea, to turn an application in. Again, QR code is there, and this is also available on our website as well. So just something to, if you want to take some measurable action against climate change, or help the campus go green, this is a great opportunity for you. So I guess with that, if you have any questions for me or the Office of Sustainability, feel free to throw them in the chat and I'll continue monitoring that and responding to you. Again, or you can also email us at sustainability@csudh.edu and visit our website. But at this point, I'm actually going to cede the stage and actually pass this off to Dr. Zizi. So Roya, if you'd like to take over the screen share and take us away, we're happy to hear your presentation.
Thank you. Actually, I'm very impressed. Thank you very much for all you guys are doing. And Dr. Lisa, nice to see you and thank you for your report. Let me share my screen. And okay, I hope everybody see the screen. Oh gosh, I have to be. I'm going to talk about the IPCC report that one person asked, what is IPCC? Definitely, I'm going to explain all the detail. First, I wanted to say thank you to Ellie Perry, Sustainable Manager, and the team that you are doing a great job and you made it possible for this presentation. And then I want to tell you that what I'm going to do in this short presentation. I know I have more than enough slides, so I'm going to stop before 1 o'clock, I promise you. I'm going to ask these 3 questions. What is global warming and why is it important? What is IPCC and why do we need IPCC? And can we do any changes? And what is our power or responsibility? I should give you some background. I know majority of the people that they are in this group in this meeting, they know the answer, but because this meeting is open to the public, please bear with me. So I go very fast and talk about the foundations. What is the difference between global warming and climate change? Usually, unusual rapid increase of Earth's average surface temperature is GHG. And what is climate change is the consequence of the global warming. The reason that I wanted to explain this because I heard in several radio stations that they said environmentalists changed their word because they were talking for several years about global warming, but they saw a lot of places are not warm, are getting cold, so they changed the word. And I want to explain, no, they didn't change the word. Exactly the reason that recently scientists, they say climate change instead of global warming is because they want to prevent any confusion among the people that they are not familiar with this science. Climate change exactly is the result of global warming. And unfortunately, excessive cold is the result of global warming, although the name doesn't show. And as a background, let's see why we are getting warm and why it's bad to getting warm. The sunlight, when they hit the earth, causes the heat, and we need some part of this heat. But right now we have excessive heat. Why we have excessive heat? Because as a normal situation, this heat can go out to the space. However, because we have too much CO2 and other greenhouse gases, this heat cannot go out, so come back to our Earth. And then Earth is getting warmer and warmer. And when I'm talking about too much CO2, one number that you see, the level of CO2 that we have right now is higher than the last 3 million years. So we have too much CO2, and then we unfortunately produce it. And then this is a graph that shows the difference between the natural climate change and the human induced climate change. This line, it shows the natural change. So climate change, as a lot of people, they say is normal, but not with this rate. You see, this is the human induced change, as you see in this picture. And the other question is why warming is bad. Warming is bad because we have a bad impact on Earth and our health. These items are the things that I mentioned as an example. We have excessive heat, we have excessive fire and flooding, and because of too much precipitation, then we're gonna have more rain and more flood. And we see because of global warming, we are getting colder. And this situation is the situation that is not healthy for us, for our family, and for Earth. And one thing that is bad, I want to mention it because some of these changes are irreversible, and we have to be very careful about it. In a parenthesis, I want to mention about the injustice of global warming. Unfortunately, all of us, they don't get heat from global warming equally. A lot of countries, developing countries, they don't have enough tools, they don't have enough technology to protect themselves. So they are in a worse situation. And in this slide, I mentioned some examples, as you see. Let's see who we can blame, who is responsible. This slide shows that all of us are responsible. The whole world, we are making too much CO2. Some of us more, some of us less, but all of us are responsible. I want to mention that I was looking for per capita CO2 emission because the correct approach is this one, that we look at per capita, because obviously biggest countries, they make more CO2, but if you look at per capita, we see some of the small countries, they are doing very bad, are in a very bad situation. And here, when I talk to my students about leadership, we see the lack of leadership. I remember several times in several classes, I talk about lack of leadership. And here we have a lack of leadership about approaching to climate change. Here I want to show you the picture of Isaac Cordal that is in Berlin. That it's this picture, the name of the sculpture is Politicians Discussing Global Warming. And I think, unfortunately, it shows the reality of our life right now. They cannot make their mind until everywhere actually is flood and they are drowning. So, because with this explanation, this fast explanation, I showed that we need IPCC. But right now, let's see what is IPCC and what it does and why it can help us. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is IPCC, is the international body for assessing the science related to climate change. The IPCC was set up in 1988 to provide the suggestion for our politicians, for our policy makers. Your question is, okay, if they started 1988, why we are here? Good question. Exactly, the answer is lack of good leadership in this area. And some explanation again about IPCC is participation in IPCC is open to all the countries. Right now we have 195 countries that they are member. And we should know that IPCC does not conduct its own research. They gather the peer-reviewed research and they assess those research and they give the report to the policymakers. The IPCC publishes these assessment reports that they say are every 6 or 7 years. If you notice it, recently they are doing more frequent. I remember I had a talk about the previous IPCC report in 2018, 3 years ago, because the climate change is rapidly happened, and they want to make sure that they give the information enough to the governments. And they are doing in different areas, scientific, technical, and socio-economic. I don't go to the detail because they are 400, this report that released in August 2021 is 4,000 pages. Only I give you the main information and the most important information that is good to know. As I said, this in August 2021, they released a new report for making this assessment. 234 authors from 66 countries contributed, and they assessed 14,000 different peer-reviewed literature to get to the result that we are seeing. And they sent this result to the government and experts, and they received 78,000 comments from 46 countries. The reason I'm giving you this detail to show you how much work is involved and how careful and in detail they are working. And they are working in 3 groups in a different area, as I said, but I'm not going to go to detail again because of the time. I want to make sure we go to the part that what is our responsibility. At the same time, I think you need to know what is IPCC and why it's important. Key findings of IPCC, 2021 IPCC. The key findings are, we can say this report, the key finding is in 3 areas. 1, humans are responsible for global warming, because always there were a lot of discussion that global warming is normal, or are we responsible or not. As I showed you on that graph, we see the regular and natural global warming is way different with the situation that we have. So for sure, humans and the activity that you and me have is responsible for this global warming. And some climate systems are irreversible, at least for centuries. This is not the good news. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of species and we cannot have them anymore. Your kids in next 20 years, 10 years, they cannot see all the species that we are seeing right now. But the good news is the third part, although time is running out, it is not too late to avoid the worst impact of climate change. So they separated the information in 2 parts. First, they talked about existing situation. The existing situation that we have based on this scientific literature is that the CO2 concentration are the highest level in the last 2 million years. In last 2 million years of the Earth, we never had that much CO2 in our atmosphere. And then sea level is rising faster than it has in the last 3,000 years. And the Arctic sea ice is at its lowest level at in the last 1,000 years. And what is the impact for future? The future, this situation that we have causes extreme heat, extreme drought, heavy rain, wildfire that we see in California, unfortunately, every year, and ocean warming. And not only ocean is getting warmer, the acidity goes high and then they lose oxygen. And when they lose oxygen, is harmful for the fishes and all marine species. And one thing I wanted to mention is this one, that this report, because as I mentioned, every 5 to 6 years, they release one report, but this report is better than the previous one because I believe because they focused in regional situation, and we have some regional fact sheets in this report, and then they created interactive atlas and more detail about regional levels, because they want everybody, all the countries, they can use this report to prevent the worst situation. So what, with all this information, what we can do is, this session is not because we say, okay, the situation is bad, we cannot do it. We want to say situation is bad, but we have responsibility, we have a power. I give you some example that you can do it. All the studies, a lot of studies shows that small action can work. One of the most important, I think, create a culture of sustainability. And when I was listening to Dr. Lisa, exactly their approach, their department are doing that one. They change the culture of sustainability. And this is the responsibility of all of us to change the culture in the university, in our family, in our neighborhood, and all this stuff. And thanks to our Office of Sustainability that is doing that approach, change the culture. And ask your representative their plan for the environment. If they know that you know about the environment and you know it is important, they take care of the issue much better. Here I give you some example that how we can help and is effective. By using public transportation, if you drive only 20 miles per day, that a lot of us drive more, we can save 29 kilograms of CO2 per year. With changing the package and use the reusable package, we can reduce the CO2 emission. With using the reusable coffee mug instead of disposable, we can save a lot of CO2 and reduce CO2, and we can save, actually reduce the waste. We're using the regular tea instead of tea bags. I am giving you these small examples to show how important it is, every small action that we have. And turning off the office lights or turning off the hotel lights. When we go to the hotel, we don't pay for the electricity. So a lot of people, they don't care to turn it off. But right now, when we know, yes, we pay. Maybe we don't pay from our pocket today, but we pay later because of the flood and fire and all these natural disasters. And changing our habits, the food habit that is better for our health. If we reduce meat and use vegetable, we can save a lot of carbon. We can reduce the carbon emission. And this is the information that is you see for 1 kilogram lamb. We produce for 1 kilogram lamb, produce 39.2 kilos CO2. That if we convert it to the car, it says the same as that you drive 91 miles. I'm sorry. At the same time, if we use vegetable, we're gonna produce less carbon. And all of you know that is better for our health too. A lot of hospitals, they are reducing, they have 1 day no meat day. So it's helpful for the environment and it's helpful for their patients. And these are the other examples that how we can save the environment. And I don't go to one-to-one example, you see it in this slide, but I want to bring it to the attention to those people that they say, yes, the situation is not good, but we cannot do anything. I want to say, yes, we can, and this is our responsibility. And if we care about this issue, we push our representative to care about the issue. And then we prevent the lack of leadership, as I mentioned. I have some slides that shows what we are doing with recycling, and then I think we don't have time to go through it. I'm going to go to my last slide and emphasize that all of us are responsible for global warming. It's not only the governments, all of us are responsible. All of us have a responsibility to protect the environment and the health of ourselves and our family. And all of us have the power to do something about it. So we have a power, we can do it. And fortunately, out of all the negative information that we had from IPCC report, 2021 IPCC report, one good news was that one, still we have time to do something. So please do anytime and anywhere that you are, think about the environment. This is related to your health, your family's health, and the health of the environment. I finished a little bit earlier, 6 minutes earlier, to give the opportunity for any kind of question that you have. And thank you very much.